What's Up Reclaimers, Miss Toxic here. When you ask a gamer why they play games, most of them will answer it's because they are fun, or a way to experience a world different from our own. But sometimes, the games that provide us with endless hours of entertainment also provide us with the feeling of wanting to take our controllers, throw it into a blender, and never touch it again. So, with the help of my good friend and fellow content creator, AwpWilliams, we decided to share our top 10 things in games that make us rage. Take it away, Awp.
Hey, thanks, Toxic. And what is going on, guys? Awp here. Let's get started right away with number 10. Not enough information. Dark Souls. Now, the first time I got this game, I was excited because it was stated to be the hardest game in the world at the time. I was such a noob, I ran right past the section where you pick up the shield and the sword, and I only got the shield. If you don't pick up the sword, you're stuck with your damn sword hilt. Do you know what a sword hilt is? It's the thing that the sword sits on. I only got a piece of a blade that was stuck at the bottom because the blade didn't totally break. So the whole time I'm just running around this starting area with a sword hilt that does like no damage to my enemies. I'm getting like a maximum of 4 damage, son. I kept dying to this one undead on the stairs, not realizing that I was not even holding a sword. 2 weeks later, I played through the first section again, and this time I actually picked up the freaking sword. Great. So I finally got past all the undead, only to walk through this fog gate and get owned by the stage boss. Okay, game. How was I supposed to be expected to kill a boss when all I have is basic starting area gear? I nearly broke my controller because of this bullshit. But now, being a Dark Souls veteran, I basically come to know every secret and surprise in the game, and I actually love that about the game now.
Number 9, Difficulty Spike, Planetary Annihilations, Titans. Planetary Annihilations is an RTS game, real-time strategy game for you people who don't know what that is, where you gather/build resources to take out the enemy commander. There are various units you can use, and these super tanky guys called Titans you can build. Hell, there are even nukes you can use to destroy your opponents. Well, when you finally get your bearings, and normal becomes too easy, naturally you switch to hard. But oh no, not in this game. You see, unlike other games, when you go up in difficulty, it's challenging but not total carnage. In Planetary Annihilations, when you switch to hard, you better be ready to rip that bib off fast. Because not even 2 minutes in the match, the enemy bot already has almost twice the amount of units you have, and is stealing your resources. Look, I'm not f***ing Stephen Hawking, so trying to build my units while trying to thwart off enemy advances is like trying to win a race against a Formula 1 car in your mom's Toyota Prius. It just isn't happening. And considering the game has 2 more difficulty settings, I would hate to see what happens on Absurd or Relentless.
Number 8. Unlocking DLC, Resident Evil 5. First off, I'd like to say that I love Resident Evil 5. Since its release in 2009, it's provided me with something to play with my best friend who would normally at that point only play The Sims and other casual games like Bejeweled. With that said, when Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition came out, we certainly wanted to expand our experience. So when we got this version of the game, we had access to all the DLC, the new costumes, and the new modes. However, you don't just casually have access to these features once you've paid for them. Oh no, you will have to unlock them by beating the game. I mean, it sort of makes sense. Why would you buy what's essentially an expansion pack for a game you haven't even experienced yet?
Water cooler!
Water cooler!
Well, I'll tell you what happened. I actually bought the game first. My best friend and I played on console for the longest time. Then she got the gold version of the game, which means she had all the DLC that went with it, but since we don't have the save file from my game on her Xbox, we had to beat the game again just to experience all this new stuff. And I'll tell you this, we never played any of the new DLC on Xbox because we just didn't have the time. Instead, we both now own Resident Evil 5 on our PCs and we just play with each other that way, which means we had to beat the game yet again. Which we did, and we started playing a little bit of Lost in Nightmares, and then we stopped for no particular reason. Then this girl loses her motherfucking save file, so now we have to beat this fucking game again.
Number 7, clipping enemies, Dark Souls 3. So imagine this for me. You're a few hours into your Dark Souls 3 no-death playthrough. You know the path, where the bosses spawn, which bosses they are, their attack patterns. You run into some of those fierce Iron Knights. But you know, the only way you can get past this area is by running through. You calculate your route, you do your dash, you make it past all the Iron Knights, you're ready to go down the ladder, when suddenly, a giant sword comes crashing through the wall, and you fall off the ladder to your demise. This is the exact scenario that happens to me whenever I happen to be doing exceptionally well during a playthrough. After memorizing the entire level, getting by so many mobs, only for the game to finally try and punish me by making the big baddie clip through something to insta-kill me. Time and time and time again. As if the Dark Souls series wasn't already hard enough, now I have to look out for mobs who defy the law of physics. Grand.
Number 6. Being unable to play your coolest cards. Hearthstone. I play a little game known as Hearthstone. I gave up Yu-Gi-Oh for this because it was just a lot cheaper to play, as I don't actually have to buy anything just to have a good time and collect some cards. I feel that it is the most fair card game out there right now, with enough appeal that it actually interests me. You see, the problem I had with Yu-Gi-Oh was every time I made a better deck, there was always a strategy out there that was much better than the one I was using, so I'd have to save up money to buy the cards until I could build that deck, only for it to get shut out by yet another better deck, making my deck so obsolete, giving me no opportunity to fight back against my opponents who had already practiced against this deck with their brand new f***ing deck. So now here you have Hearthstone, a game that's fair all around until you get some really cool, powerful cards with really fun effects, but you never get to see them get used because people are always playing what are called fast decks. Basically, these players fill their decks with lots of small minions and few bigger ones to be able to beat any decks that take too long to start being effective. Which I'll say in reality is a really effective way to play, but it means you're never going to see anyone play any 7 mana, 8 mana, 9 mana, 10 mana minions with really cool things to do. Here's an example. There's this new card called Medivh. He's an 8 mana 7/7 that gives you a weapon. After playing a spell with the weapon out, a minion that costs the same as your spell will appear on your board. And you can do this up to 3 times, as that uses a charge from your weapon. Meanwhile, you got a nice big minion with 7/7 stats that can kill anything that it hits. That's cool and all, but Medivh pretty much always dies right away, meaning you played an 8 mana minion that gave you a 1/3 weapon and nothing else. And if you're playing against a really technical opponent, it means they're going to destroy your weapon as well, wasting an entire turn. And that's if you even get to turn 8 to play him, because guess what? You might be playing against a warlock with minions and spells that cost like 1 mana and they buff each other through their special effects, leaving you with pretty much nothing on the board at all times and a low life total. If I'm the Warlock, I don't want to play a stupid fast deck. I want to play a deck where I can play the 9 mana Jiraxxus and fill the board with 2 mana 6/6s, but no. I have to play against Shaman, who plays turn 1 Tunnel Trog, turn 2 Totem Golem, turn 3 another f***ing Tunnel Trog, and Hero Power, turn 4 a 4 mana 7/7. F*** it, you lose! It's no secret that I'm a huge fan. It's no secret.
That's my line.
I don't care. I'm raging so hard. I just need to read something else.
Okay, fine. I'll just take this.
It's no secret that I'm a huge fan of the Halo series. It's one of the games that, despite all of the flaws, I can go back to it time and time again to have fun and experience the multiplayer or story. Well, aside from the Halo 4 and Halo 5 story. Now, Halo 5's multiplayer, I do agree, is a large step up from Halo 4's, but it still managed to bring server issues along for the ride. Imagine going 17-4 in a BTB match only to be disconnected from the match and unable to join back in. Or having your teammate in doubles disconnect before the game, forcing you into a 2v1 scenario where your only chance of winning is to get a double kill right off the bat and trade kills for the rest of the match. Nothing is more frustrating than disconnects at the wrong time, and nothing brings my blood to a boil more than being 10 kills away from victory and getting the boot with the cheeky little message, "There was an issue with the Halo 5 Guardian server." How is it your servers can't handle a population of 10,000 players? How? Okay, I feel better. Hey, what happened to my... Where the hell did it go?
Number 4, Settlement Attacks, Fallout 4. So imagine you just bought the Fallout 4 DLC, whisking you off to some place not on the main map. You're essentially on a trip. You're busy. You're killing new enemies, you're gathering new items, your f***ing settlement gets attacked. Now you have to go back on a boat, or fast travel a few times, go back to your settlement, defend your land. They say, thank you. You go back to Nuka World. Another settlement is under attack. Why? I'm clearly trying to do something, game. Why are my settlements, which are clearly able to handle themselves, under attack? And more so, why are they losing if I have like 160 defense points? Y'all better learn to pull the trigger. There are literally walls around my sanctuary. You can't get into any of my entry points without being met by turrets or guards. I gave all of my settlers a nice weapon, except for Marcy. She's a bitch. She instead gets a toy baton, and most of the time when I show up, the enemy has already been destroyed outside of the wall. How does the settlement ever lose a battle? So next time 10 Pines Bluff is in trouble, I'm saying no. Y'all better pick up some Tatos and throw them at the super mutants if you can't figure out how to pull the trigger. And when I come back to meet your rotting corpses, I'll bring Preston Garvey with me, just so he can say,
at least it's not raining.
Number 3. Gwent Cheaters, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So recently I bought Witcher 3 the complete edition for my PC. You know, the one that comes with all the extras and expansions for a fair sum of money. Well, with that I've spent over 140 hours in the game. Not touching the various Witcher contracts or interesting side quests riddled throughout the game, but crafting my skills in the mini card game Gwent. Well, after spending hours upon hours scouring Velen, Novigrad, Skellige, and White Orchard for the best cards, making my deck so powerful that if this was the real thing, the whole world would bow to me, only to get bested by that NPC simply named Blacksmith. Because for some reason or another, he always draws the exact card he needed to win the round, and rob me of my hard-earned 5 gold. Or maybe the Elven Man Merchant, who has the third eye in which he could somehow predict that I have cards in my hands and stall until I have to play the card I don't want to play because I know this prick has 7,000 Scorch cards in his hand. I'm onto you, and when I find you, I'm going to
Number 2. Junkrat. Overwatch. Overwatch is an extremely fun game which has entirely replaced my need to play Call of Duty. The new competitive mode makes fun even deeper, whereby talking to your teammates you can properly strategize and actually stick together in order to complete a task. However, I keep getting killed by the damn Junkrat and his random grenades that weren't even aiming at me in the first place, his stupid landmine that he just slings at your face, and his freaking bear trap that stops all movement. What is even worse is if you're a tank, Junkrat will most likely hit you with all of these attacks at the same time. And it doesn't just stop there. Oh no, if you do manage to kill this little bastard, he drops even more grenades to take you with him. If I go down, I'm taking you with me. Anybody getting an Andros vibe from Star Fox here with me? No? Just me? Okay. It's not fun, except when you're actually playing as Junkrat and you're doing this to someone else. That's when it's actually funny. So that's cool, but no, when you're on the receiving end, it all makes you want to rip out your fucking hair, smash your keyboard, and drink a Four Loko because life is stressful.
Number 1. Followers, The Elder Scrolls Skyrim Special Edition. Everyone who has played Skyrim should know how dumb your AI companions are. Whether it's aggroing an entire camp of bandits during my sneak thief no death playthrough, or blatantly running on a trap floor button over and over again, activating that very deadly thing that I took my time avoiding, only to get slapped in the face with a spiked wall. Followers in Skyrim can be downright annoying, but the one thing that pisses me off the most is when they stand directly behind or in front of me and don't move! Doesn't matter the situation, running backwards to avoid the swings of an angry bandit? Don't worry, your follower is right behind you to catch you while your limp body flails towards them. It's almost like the follower AI is like, oh look, the player's doing some important stuff in this really crowded alleyway and or dungeon. Better get right behind them and not move. And you know who is the worst offender of this? The f***ing dog, Miko. Yeah, Miko, that's right. I'm calling you out, you sheep dog weasel mop thing. Yeah, f*** you! Do you agree with the list? Or do you have your own rage stories you'd like to share? Let me know in the comments below. Before I end this video, I just wanted to share that AwpWilliams has a really awesome YouTube channel. He does Tekken and a lot of other stuff, so go ahead and check him out after this video ends. And if you liked the video, please leave a like and share with your friends, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Have a good one.